Hello. Oh,
Hello, did we start?
I think we started.
Okay.
I'm so used to like elevator music going off in like Zooms. I was kind of just like I picked up my phone and I
Oh
was
my
like, wait, we're going live.
Oh wait, you're supposed to do the intro, right? Okay, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
So,
so
hello everyone. Welcome to this event to celebrate Iron Widow and Xiran Jay Zhao. And hello, it's me, Chloe, opening this event. So I hope everyone has had a lovely day. Yes, in London it's 7. I'm guessing most people joining are in the UK. But how are you, Sharon? How's life?
hello, I am here with special guest Coco Chin. Hello, Coco Chin. Look at that. And over there you can see Timujin just sleeping there, not caring. And yes, hello everyone, and welcome to the most ambitious crossover.
If it was ambitious, we would have dressed up, but I don't know how we might have navigated that. So I think it's good that this is the most I'm doing. I'm embracing my inner empress.
Oh my god, yes, hell yes, you get I kind of expected you to have a goth phase at one point. Did you have a goth phase?
No, I had a lol random phase.
Oh my god, please. Okay, you know what? My internet connection seems to be going okay, so I'm gonna put on my Zoom flower crown. Oh my god, you can't even see my hairstyle. What the hell? I spent so much time doing it. Look, I have cat ears on.
Sit lower down. Sit lower down.
No, but then I'll have to like be like this. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna be like this.
That looks great. What are you talking about?
Okay. All right, are we supposed to actually do event stuff? Okay, let's begin.
Oh, yeah, I have so many questions prepared for you. But before we jump in, let me read for those of us joining us who might be more familiar with Iron Widow and all of this. I'm gonna read Sharon's bio. So, Xiran Jay Zhao is a first-gen immigrant from small-town China who was raised by the internet. A recent graduate of Vancouver's Simon Fraser University, they wrote science fiction and fantasy while they probably should have been studying more about biochemical pathways. They are in a cowsuit because they made a promise to their friends 7 years ago that they would take their author photo in it if they actually got published, and they are not going back on that promise.
Yeah, if you look over somewhere there, like my cowsuit's actually still on my bed.
Let me just show the audience the dead cowsuit. You can find them on Twitter at Xiran Jay Zhao for memes, Instagram as Xiran Jay Zhao for cosplays and fancy outfits, and YouTube as Xiran Jay Zhao for long videos about Chinese history and culture. Iron Widow is their first novel.
Oh yeah, and I'm also on TikTok now, I guess.
As you should be.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The land of the internet. Anyhow, let me launch right into all my amazing questions that I asked solely for me. I know that few of you, everyone else here, but this is my interrogation time.
Okay.
Okay, to kick things off, how would you pitch Iron Widow in AO3 tag format? To give the audience a little something, I can't just jump right into it.
Oh my god, alternate universe, I guess slow burn, definitely OT3, polyamory. There's enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers, the fools to lovers, I guess. Collar and chain. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Talking about, I think it's so funny that would constitute as a tag.
Yeah, well, it is, and probably trigger warning trauma, trigger warning discussions of sexual assault. I think I can't think of anything else. Oh no, probably torture. Would that be a tag? Body horror?
Yeah.
Major character death? Question mark?
Question mark.
Yeah.
Like Girlboss gatekeep gaslight.
Oh yes. There's also male wife.
Yeah, male wife.
Definitely mansplaining in there. What's the third? It was manipulate. Okay, yeah, manipulate.
Is that one? Is that the Girlboss equivalent?
Yeah, you didn't know? It's male wife manipulate mansplain.
You learn something new every day.
I can't believe, like, oh my god, you didn't know.
That was my.
Oh my god, I just noticed your earrings are knives.
Yeah,
Nice. Oh my god.
brand. I have so many. I think I have 3 like knife slash sword slash dagger earrings.
Oh
My
my
collection.
god. That's so legit. That's valid. That's so valid.
Okay, before I go on to my next question, I want to remind everyone in the audience that there is a Q&A function in Zoom, and we're going to spend the last 15 minutes going through Q&A. So if you have your burning questions, unfortunately, not all of us can be on frame like this, hogging the time to ask these questions. So you can ask it in the Q&A box, and we'll try to get to as many as we can because we'll leave time for it. Fabulous. Okay, my next question. You have had a very intense publishing journey, especially because, I know a lot of the earlier Iron Widow stuff happened with like COVID times happening. And then hit #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list and the indie bestsellers list and like 10,000 other bestseller lists in different countries.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. How do you feel? How have the reactions been?
The reactions have definitely like I'm pretty like Iron Widow wasn't expected to be a giant hit. I mean, right? Because like it wasn't even public. It got rejected by all the American publishers, and then I went with a Canadian publisher that was more willing to take risks to like publish sci-fi. And then of course, like you don't expect. It was like pulling an 1812 on the New York Times bestseller list. Like they don't list the Penguin Teen Canada because they're not even like, oh, we're not going to admit that a Canadian title took #1. So yeah, it was very unexpected, and I owe this all to the book community. Like I love all of you. Like Iron Widow succeeded because of word of mouth. Like that's how it succeeded. That's how it got propelled to that position, even though it was like totally unexpected. And so it's just like it still feels very surreal to me because like it all happened when I'm just like sitting in my room, right? Just like even when I found out about like hitting #1, nobody called me. Because I'm pretty sure that like my agent knows that I hate phone calls by now. So like nobody called me. It was just an email. And of course you knew before I did.
I sent you a Twitter DM. And then you went, what? What happened?
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
No, I thought you were talking about my indie hit. I was like, yeah. Yay, I hit the indie #1, still waiting for the New York Times. And you're like,
I was like, oh.
So you found out before I did. Where's the justice?
I was like, suddenly I cannot read.
Yeah, I know. And then I think I'm pretty sure I had to use your screenshot of the list too, because the one my publisher sent me was so blurry. And then now every week I have to like get the list from you because my publisher doesn't email me on Wednesdays. They wait until Thursday.
Oh, it makes sense too, because the New York Times, the list automatically goes to the American publishers. So there's probably
really?
process.
Oh my god! Oh my god! My publisher doesn't even have the. Yeah. So everyone, every week I find out whether I hit the list either by someone's like celebration posts or Chloe tells me on Twitter DMs because like we're Canadian and like the New York Times doesn't even let us know.
Well, I am honored to provide the role of the messenger for you every week. It is a high honor. But yeah,
okay, thank you. And I especially enjoyed how we've like been on the list together.
Exactly. Yeah, once I fall off the list, I can't keep telling you. So, everyone just has to keep buying my books as well so I can be your messenger.
Okay, you know what? I fully expect you to join me again on with Our Violent Ends.
Exactly. Soon, very soon.
We got the historical Chinese femme bosses duo.
The Girlboss. This isn't one of my questions, but out of Juliet and Zetian, who's the Girlboss? Who's the gaslight? Who's the gatekeep?
Oh my god. Okay. So I don't know. I think they're like both equally girl boss.
But they're both very equally girl boss.
Yeah. Gaslight? Okay. Juliet is the definition of gaslight, okay? Like you cannot deny this. Literally,
she's more gaslight in the second book. She's less first one. Second book,
but I mean, at the ending of the first book, that is definitely like the gaslight of the century, okay, of the decade. 1920s, like gaslight of the decade. Okay, the definition of gaslight. So that's definitely Juliet. I don't think Zetian does any like major gaslighting. Not on Juliet's scale, anyway. I mean,
Zetian is more gatekeep.
Yes, gatekeep.
He gatekeeps the giant fucking.
Yeah.
Sorry, the giant mech. She's like, no,
Yeah.
mine now.
Yeah, she gatekeeps the patriarchy and men with fragile egos.
Exactly.
Yeah, but still, like that should just be. But still, like gaslight should just be like your tagline for this and the sequel.
On like a chart of like Girlboss, Gaslight, Gatekeeper, we hardly put a chart of 3 things, like a cube. I'm really glad that we've been able to place our protagonists. I think that was
Yes.
an important part of this.
Mm-hmm.
If people walk away with anything, I hope they know that Juliet is Gaslight and Zetian is
Yeah.
That's all that mattered in the
Mm-hmm.
Okay, real questions now. I wanted to ask you about your world building process, especially because you know so much about Chinese history. So I want to know about like how you stumbled onto this concept like directionally. Like were you always interested in history and then you like you sort of made a sci-fi plot out of it, or did you decide that you wanted to do that and then go researching it? How did this world come to be?
Well, like I was like, Chinese history was kind of my hyperfixation for the past few years. But honestly, I don't know like that much more than the average Chinese boomer. Like my mom, like my mom's Chinese friend group, they like all read my book and they were in their like WeChat group being like, oh my God, this reference, oh my God, this reference. And I was like, why do you guys all know about this? So like they weren't even hyperfixating on history and they just know everything. Like Chinese boomers, man. Nobody knows more Chinese history than Chinese boomers. And I don't even know how. So yeah, so the concept of Iron Widow came out because of my disappointment with the anime Darling in the Franxx. Do not Google this anime in polite company. But yeah, it was like the best anime I'd ever seen for its first 13 episodes. And then that second half was just not it. It didn't go the direction that I wanted it to. So I was ranting to a friend about like what I wished it had done differently. And then slowly this rant turned like so far off the rails that I was like, you know what? This could be a book that I could write. And at that point, the Chinese influence hadn't come in yet. So I was imagining something that was like very like early 2010s YA, like that sci-fi concept. And like terms like, oh, king biotype and queen biotype were like floating around in my head. And then like Franks used a Chinese myth creature, the wing-sharing bird, as one of its motifs. And I was like, what if I made the whole thing Chinese? And then because the major difference in the Franks piloting system, the main thing that Franks inspired me to do was just like a piloting system that pairs a boy and girl together. But I wanted to explore more of that, like, oh, why does it have to be a boy and girl, and then make it into like a giant allegory for like restrictive gender roles and heteronormativity. And so like in my piloting system, it's misogynist and the girl dies more often than the boys. And oh my God, I almost lost my train of thought. But okay, so there was that. So that made me think of like Chinese harem dramas. And you know what? There's no single bigger harem drama winner than Wu Zetian. All right, so Empress Wu. So that's when it turned into a reimagining of Empress Wu's story. And just because I was like so hyper fixated on Chinese history at the time. And then I told this to my friend and she was like, oh my God. But I was like, I'm gonna write it. Like you're laughing now, but I'm gonna write it. And yeah, and I guess now it's a international bestseller.
And it really paid off. No, that is fascinating because it's almost as if you started with the sci-fi plot and then you found the perfect historical backdrop.
Yeah, exactly. Or else it would have been like super weird and white and you know.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah. We have enough of those. Okay, the white people can write those. I'll write my Chinese protagonist.
There are already plenty of those as far as that's concerned. So all of that. Were there any like super fun facts that you picked up as you were mashing these things together? Or are they all just fun facts? Because there are a lot of like details in this book where I would read it and I would be like, oh, I see what you were doing there. And then I would message my mom. And she'd be like, oh, I like that.
Oh my God.
Obviously knows more history than I do. And then I think I told you this. I was telling my mom about like your first chapter. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the guy that dies first. And she went off on like a 40-minute explanation on a voice call being like, this was an allegory for like I think the Song or the Tang dynasty, I tuned her out. I'm so sorry, mother. I tuned her out.
Oh my god, it was because Yang Guang is like the last emperor of the Sui dynasty, right? And then Wu Zetian comes and like kills him, so that's a symbol of the overthrowing. And then later on, you have An Lushan, and you have like Zetian and Li Shiming getting revenge against An Lushan that they never could have during history. So this is just like Easter egg central. It's because Iron Widow isn't inspired by just the Tang dynasty. It's more like Chinese history, all stars.
Exactly. And everyone who knows their history they really pick up on it. So were there any like particular ones that you were very proud of putting in, or like fun facts that you couldn't put in?
I'm really okay. I did this for the shits and giggles, but I had Wu Zetian's younger brother be Wu Dalong. Yeah, so the Chinese boomers were like howling over that. And you know who Wu Dalong is, right?
I don't.
Really? Oh, he's from Water Margin, and then in that one, Wu Dalong, he's famous for being cuckolded and then killed by like this like Casanova guy. But yeah, all the Chinese boomers were howling over how her brother was Wu Dalong, just because like I was like, I just put him in. He doesn't really have any special significance. I just put it in because I thought it would be funny because they have the same last name or like family name.
Love that. I love that you just have a very specific niche of like Chinese boomer audiences.
I know. And well, they are also very baffled by my book. They're like, why is Li Shiming doing this? Why did you make Li Shiming like a murder himbo? And I was like, you're telling me he isn't? Like, actually, like Li Shiming may seem a certain way, like on the surface, but if you look into the historical records, he's actually like so sensitive. He's crying all the time, and he's just like a big baby.
I love that. I really do love that. That's like what I did when people were interpreting like Romeo Montague. I was like, no, I think he's dumb.
Yeah, I know.
That's my opinion.
That's my opinion.
That's just writing retellings. Retellings are just 400 pages of the author going, that's my opinion.
No, it's just fanfic. This is your like Romeo and Juliet AU fanfic.
Exactly.
And that's fine. We both write like, well, I straight up write like RPF, real person fanfiction. At least you're just like, oh, have you seen fanfic of your, no, there are fanfics of your book, right?
Yeah, I don't read them because
I don't read them either because I tried reading one and I was like, ooh, no. Weird. No, not that the fanfic was like badly written. It was just like very strange to me, and it felt intrusive, you know. Like I don't want to intrude on like fan spaces.
Oh, I thought you were doing that because you said it was. I thought there was the like, you know how some fanfics just get really, really, really sexual from the first line?
No, this fanfic wasn't sexual at all, and it was like really well written, but it just felt weird and intrusive to me to be reading it because I was like, yeah, this is like a space for you, the readers, and I shouldn't be like creeping in and being like, hello.
And then it's me.
Yeah, but it's very weird because it was basically an AU of my AU, which is like already an AU and of the RPF.
Yeah, no,
it's a mess.
That's why I find it so fun when people do fan fiction of retellings and then they do a retelling of the retelling and like mash it, right? Because already like taking people who existed in a different time, putting it in a different world, and then they kind of take those people and then put it in a different world, and then they still carry their like quintessential character traits. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, did you see the Republic of China fan art that I commissioned? I guess it's not fan art if I commission it, but yeah, I commissioned that of my Iron Triangle, the Poly Power Trio, and I was like, yes.
When are you gonna write it? When are you gonna write it?
Oh my god, I have no time. Fine. But yes, I really do love like the whole Republic of China, like spy thriller drama, but I'm relying on you to write it because I'm too lazy.
I did write a spy thriller. It's fascinating though because I don't know what genre that is. Like my third book.
Yeah.
Genre.
Foul Lady Fortune. I'm so ready for it.
I'm really scared when I actually have to start pitching it because like it's probably gonna get classified as YA fantasy because I managed to jam like TBD in YA fantasy. But it's not in the slightest. It's a C drama. It's a C drama.
Yeah, it's one of those like Republic of China C dramas. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I am ready for it.
So coming soon.
Yeah, I'm so ready. But everyone else, like all the white people are gonna be like,
they're gonna be confused. but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like these Islands of the Lights obviously received very well, and they have no idea what that like about that general era. So you know what? It's gonna be fine, and they're gonna
best
their
readers,
mind will be blown.
the best readers will come in. They'll be like, I have no idea about any of the context of this, but I vibe with this anyway. And I'm like, I respect you.
Yeah, I respect that so much.
Yeah. That kind of goes right into my next question. Love our easy segues. Okay, so Iron Widow was obviously very rooted in, you know, a culture that the Western audience is not familiar with. So when you were writing it, did you kind of have to think about like the problem of, do I explain this? Do I not explain this? Like, do I provide context? Or, you know, because you know how Western fantasies don't have to stop for like 2 pages and explain like, I don't know, the concept of yin and yang, right? Like they're just like, oh, like the soul. Everyone knows the Western human soul, right? So did you think about that as you were writing, or did you adjust afterwards?
I had to mostly adjust afterwards when like my white beta readers or my Asian and especially my editors were like, what does this mean? And I was like, oh my God, oh, how do I explain this? Like, especially like the whole elemental system, like it comes so like naturally to me, but then everyone was confused about that. And eventually I had to just be like, you know what? I think I put in a line in the book that was like, if you don't understand this, it's fine. Like I had Zetian being like, they told me that it's fine if I didn't get it.
Love that. Love the Zetian being the audience own voices.
Yeah. And also like I had to keep like a very, very tight pacing. So I didn't really have time to explain a lot of things. So I tried to balance it. And honestly, if you don't understand the whole piloting system or the whole magic system in Iron Widow, that's fine.
Love that. It's like the reader experience where you come in with the context and you're like, okay, I got this. And then like the high speed path where you're like, okay, we're just gonna speed run.
But I do find some reactions very interesting because I definitely relied on like a Chinese cultural background to fill in a lot of the details. So people didn't understand how the government worked because I never talked about it. I was only like, oh yeah, it's served by scholar bureaucrats. And then people were like, so are these people democratically elected? And I was like, oh, you think China has democracy?
We're gonna get struck down by them. Don't say that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I already got blocked by China. They're on to me. I no longer care. Like when I try to go on Chinese websites, my IP got like blacklisted by the Chinese government. So I have to use a VPN to go on sites like Baidu. So it's fine. They're already on to me. I don't care.
You know what? I would ask how you got your IP blocked.
I don't know either, actually. Just like I did a quick Google search, and apparently it's happened to other people who like the Chinese internet guardians, whatever, have identified as like diaspora trying to like spread and like inciting information on the Chinese internet. So they blocked the IP of like these diaspora to prevent them from like infiltrating the Chinese internet without consequences. But you can get around that with a VPN. So
you should.
It's fine.
You should definitely.
I know, but I'm scared for the next time I go back to China because, like, what if I get detained at the airport?
I'll break you out.
Okay.
That's the next YA collab.
Okay, you have to tell Justin Trudeau to like bust me out, or else I'm gonna kick his ass.
It's okay. I'll give Jacinda Ardern a call. She can call Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
It'll be a hoot. It'll be
okay. Yeah, just be on Twitter. Be like, hey, Xiran got like detained in China. We should probably do something about this at Justin Trudeau.
And I'm sure he would run to your rescue, you know?
Yeah, I mean, eventually the 2 Michaels came back, so hopefully I won't be detained for long.
Okay,
Yeah, but if they make me do one of those, I should probably learn Morse code. So if they make me do one of those like state like video confessions, I could be like,
wait, did you know that Chinese Morse code is like so different from Western Morse code?
Is it? Oh yeah, you had to learn that. Did you have to research that for your second book? I mean, your third book?
I had it in my first book at first because Chinese Morse code is a 4-digit thing that corresponds to every character. So you can't
How do you do that?
You can't learn Chinese Morse code. The spies back then always had booklets and they booklets to correspond. And so
Okay.
in my first draft of these Violent Delights, I had a like telegraph, and I was like, well, no one's gonna have a booklet. So for some reason, Julia just had a photographic memory. And then
Okay. Oh my
when we
God.
were revising, we were like, this is stupid. Like, why does she have a memory just because of Morse code? And I was like, you know what? Let's take it out. We don't need it.
Okay. Okay, but that sounded cool, but it also sounds like it would have been like, yeah, I was actually just thinking about this morning, but I was like, man, Chinese kids do not have like an alphabet song. Like you can't just be like A, B, C, D. No, I don't remember how I learned Chinese. Anyone who's out there learning Chinese, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry.
There's no shortcut. You just memorize everything.
Yeah. How well can you read Chinese?
Me?
Yeah.
Middle school level.
Okay, same.
Not well
But
enough. Not well enough
okay.
to read Chinese books, but enough that I can make my way around.
Okay, pretty much same, except like I retain my ability to read Chinese solely because like I am at like a grade 3 or 4 level Chinese reading, but I retained a lot of it simply because like I read a lot of fan fiction on Chinese websites. So that's the only reason I can read Chinese now.
Fan fiction really just provides so much.
I know. And then especially if you do like fan fiction on the Chinese internet, you do have to be like, it is so, you have to like really go underground for that stuff because the censorship is so rampant. You have to like, it is straight up like spy thriller level. Like you have to go to the special website and put in a password, and then like sometimes people like make riddles to make you guess the password so you can access their like smut.
Wow. But
Yeah,
also,
it is an adventure.
that you've commissioned is all so good, and they're also like, I guess, like unique in art style. Like you've just got such a like array, you know.
Oh yeah, like the commissions. Yeah, I go onto this Chinese commission website called 米花师, and I'm so glad that I can like speak fluent Chinese. Because that's the only reason I could get access to these artists and be like, hey, can you draw my characters as this, this, and this? So yes, I'm glad for my abilities now.
You provide for us. You're the bridge.
Yes. All my fandom experience has like led to this. Now I am my own fandom. I love that like Gen Z author. I am my own fandom energy.
It's almost like people get surprised when I write fan fiction of my original fiction, and I'm like, why
That's
would
just bonus content, baby.
Well, yes, but I'm like, why would I have become an author if I wasn't obsessed with these characters, right? They're
I
like,
know,
oh,
like, yeah, just like, let me write my drabbles, okay?
exactly. It's like these characters are all we think about if we've spent 400 pages with them. Like, there's so much. The world is so vast. And if we can't provide as our own little fandoms, then how can we expect the rest of the fandom to congregate, you know?
I know, right? Like, I'm the one just pumping memes into the Iron Widow fandom now, I guess, but, you know, no regrets. No regrets.
It needs a little figurehead, and then everyone else can be like, bring their memes in, all of that. Yeah. Okay, real question.
Oh my god.
Tangent.
We went so far off, and that's fine. That's fine.
It's fine. I know that this is what all of you signed up for.
Yes.
You knew. When you saw our 2 pictures on that banner, you knew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like you kind of talked about this already with the anime, but I wanted to know about your like creative inspirations that kind of drove you to make these characters the way that they are. Because as I was reading, I thought it was fascinating that the reason why I loved them so much was because they felt like such living, breathing, like furious people. And I kind of sat there and I was like, this doesn't feel like what we're allowed to do in YA, right? Like gatekeepers will be like, oh, like they're not allowed to be that angry. The idea, yeah, right? So obviously, like I love that you did it. I love that now this exists. But
Yeah.
what inspired you to make them that way, I guess? Like how did you find that? What was the drive to kind of create them as they are now?
My own anger at the patriarchy.
So true.
It is true. And also like I'm just like more fascinated by morally gray characters. Like I don't condone the stuff that Zetian does in the book, but I find it more interesting to have a protagonist that's just like you can't really predict what they're going to do because their moral compass is so busted and different from like what a hero is supposed to have. So like I think that you're able to like not see how the story is going to go. Like I find that also true in these violent delights because like Juliet's also like, oh yeah, I'm like a legit gangster. I'm here to come for your money. So I do really like morally gray characters just because it makes the story more exciting. Like you can't predict what they're gonna do, and the villains can't predict them either. Like the villains try to like go against them, and they're like, that's not gonna stop me. Yeah. So yeah, that is just me being more fascinated with morally gray characters. But also, yes, a lot of it stems from my own anger. Like my family is they're from a smaller town in China, and by that I mean like it still has 4 million people in it. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of
country.
yeah. I mean, you're from Shanghai, so like that's like 25 million or something. But yeah, I'm from a city near Shanghai. It's oh wait, I shouldn't say it because like the Chinese government is onto me. They can't know. But yeah, it has 4 million people in it, and it definitely has a lot of more like traditional values. Like even now, after I've become like this #1 bestseller, my mom is still like, so when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have boyfriend? When are you gonna have a kid? And then she suggested to me that for me to like go, because I was like, I'm not ever giving birth. Like this uterus not ever gonna get used, okay? And so she was like, what if you had a kid via surrogacy? And I was like, why do you want a grandchild that badly that you want me to like rent some woman's uterus? So yeah, a lot of it comes just like from my frustration at like these traditional values and like family values that are imposed on me. And I'm pretty sure my mom read the whole book and still didn't get it. I was like, how could you read that whole book and still tell me to be like, go get boyfriend, go get married. Oh yeah, also like I think on the weekend my dad was like changing this light bulb in my house. And then my parents were like, this is why you need to get a boyfriend so we can get a man to do this job. And I was like, why don't you just hire someone? You want me to sell myself out so you can have male labor in your house. Where's the logic? Why don't you just pay someone to do this?
Why does this sound like it sounds like the punchline to a joke. You know, the joke of like, how many blank does it take to change a light bulb?
Yeah.
You really said, how many men does it take to change a light bulb? Apparently one.
Yeah. First, I have to go find a boyfriend, and then they'll finally have someone to change their light bulb for them. Just, oh my God. Yeah, so yes, I grew up in an environment like that, and a lot of that fueled Iron Widow.
And you can feel it. You can feel the rage, and I love it, you know?
Yeah, I was just like,
I mean, your parents felt some of the rage. Like, I don't know how.
Well, I rage at them like unreservedly now because like they were totally against me writing, and they wanted me to like do anything else that's like typical or normal. And like that also went into my book. I was just so angry. And now every time they like try to brag about me to their boomer friends, I'm just like, remember when you didn't support me? And
this is motivation. But now
yeah, also my mom made me sign her copy of Iron Widow, and I just wrote, yeah, to mom, you should have believed in me from the start. And she was like, and she just walked away with that. So yes, I don't worry, like I roast my parents every opportunity, and they're just like totally fine with it because they still get to brag, I guess.
Classic. Very, very classic. That's what I'm actually really glad that my parents haven't read my book because they're at an immigrant level where they don't read English books.
Really?
And I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, I don't want y'all opening this kind of content. Like,
yes, yeah.
I don't want my parents reading that.
I totally get you. I did not want my mom to read my book. Like, I have like legit thought of going into her room and just burning her copy or like stealing it. But she wanted to read it. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't need you to like read about like how I imagined Wu Zetian and Li Shiming about to like bang. Okay, we don't need this in your head.
We don't need the parents' eyes on that. That's how I kind of feel when I stumble onto like fic. Like fan fiction of my work. I'm like, I'm the parent.
Oh my God, you know what? That's the exact feeling. That is like that's exactly how I feel. Like I just feel like, ooh, better close that door. Like my kid is doing something unexpected in the room. I'm just like, oh no, this is not for me.
That's exactly. Okay. I wanted to know, were there any, so Iron Widow kind of ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. You know, there's book 2 coming. Was there any alternate endings that you considered, or were there cut chapters, cut scenes?
Oh my god, there are so many cutscenes because I was made to like there was a very strict word count limit placed on me. So like I was like fighting my editors over like 200 word snippets. Yeah, and I got most of what I wanted. Like still like at the in the end I was grateful for the editorial feedback and to be challenged like that because everyone has told me the pacing is very good and like it never like lags. So I'm glad about that, but still I have a lot of like because I really like writing fluff and like domestic fluff. So a lot of that had to be taken out of the book and probably, but like that stuff it's not like it's admittedly not relevant to the plot, so I can always just release it later.
Yeah,
but still, I know, but fluff is so good, right? Yeah, so there's a lot of fluff that I had to cut. But like the ending, I've always imagined the ending like that. Like there was no alternative ending. Like that was always gonna happen.
You really came in, you were just like, huh, I
Yeah.
always do this.
I know. Okay, I was actually like at my friends the other day, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, when I saw all the art of your book that you commissioned of your book, I thought it was gonna be a happy book. It was not." And I was like, "Oh, sorry about that. Sorry for misleading you into thinking this was gonna be a wholesome book."
What about the tagline of a reimagining of China's only empress gave them the impression that it would be happy?
I don't know. I guess they thought that like it was gonna be Zetian just being happy with her harem and like everything was gonna be fine.
That's
But
fair. You see the vision. That's fair.
yeah.
I see why you would want that, you know, all of that. But I guess, okay, we have 5 minutes because I want to give audience questions some time.
Right. Oh my god. Did we already talk for we rambled for like 45 minutes. What the hell?
I feel like we're talking for like 10.
I
But
know, right?
how is book 2 going? How's my favorite girl boss? How's she do? No!
No, I'm kidding. Book 2. I've been so busy. Yeah, but it's going. It's a thing. It's going.
I hope someone's ready to like gift this. I know this is being recorded, but I hope
Okay.
that's a very giftable reaction.
Okay, I can't say it's going fine because I'm very, very late on it. You know what? I will get it done eventually. But it's interesting to me that people think that Zetian's gonna have a better time in book 2, and that's simply not true. That is not true. She's not gonna have a good time. And all I can say about book 2 is that drastic actions have drastic consequences. All right. So like, there's not gonna be a good time in book 2.
That's fair. That's fair. But you know what? Sometimes bad times are more entertaining. I love when characters deteriorate. You know?
I know you do.
Just hit their rock bottom, you know? It's fun.
Oh, but if you think Zetian hit rock bottom in Iron Widow, oh boy. Oh my god.
I'm very excited. Ready for my favorite girl boss to hit hell and then bring her shovel and keep digging.
Yes, oh my god. Yeah, she's gonna be in hell, but she's dragging everyone down with her, like a whole country. It's not gonna be fine, but it's gonna be like it's gonna be a disaster, and that's okay.
I think that's just so fair of her. Like, you know, girl boss central. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open the Q&A, and it's the way that I just don't. Do I click answer live, or does that bring the person on? Okay, you know what? Let me just read it.
No, that doesn't bring the person on, but like, does it disappear if?
Okay, let me. I'll test it. Okay, first I'll ask
Okay.
it. Are there any songs that remind you of or resonate with any of the main trio of Iron Widow?
Oh my god. Wreak Havoc by Skylar Grey. That is Zetian's theme song. And also, surprisingly, a lot of like 5 seconds of summer songs like fit into the Iron Widow soundtrack. What?
That's a very interesting collision of aesthetics.
What? I don't know what you think the 5 seconds of summer like aesthetic is, but I don't know anything about the band. I've only listened to their songs, and their songs like Talk Fast and what?
White guys. Are they
White
British?
guy.
They might not be British. They might be
Oh,
American.
I don't even know, but I just like talk fast is like a very like Zetian and Yi song. And also definitely a lot of Chinese female rappers. Like the rap scene in China is actually dominated by these like badass Chinese rappers like not Vanilla, it's Vanita and also Vava.
I love
And
Bubba.
then yeah, oh my god, I love her too. And God, what was the third one? I forgot her name. It was Lexi. Yeah, Lexi. So yes, definitely a lot of Chinese rap.
Fascinating.
One day I will release the Iron Widow Spotify sound like playlist, but I'm just lazy.
Like the Spotify. We want it. The people want it. Okay.
Okay, if you clicked answer live, would it just okay, yeah, cool. It doesn't disappear, so we can just click answer live.
Okay, so next question. Could you talk about the design process of your book covers? Did you have an idea of what you wanted while you were writing? And the pose that you edited the
Yes. Okay, that pose actually has a backstory. Okay, so I actually got to have a lot of input in my cover design, which I'm super grateful for. Like I gave them basically it was like a 10-page document of like references for the Tang Dynasty aesthetic, like this like Hua Dian on her forehead, and then like the Ye Dian like next to her lips, and then the whole hair and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I was like, you can use like a phoenix motif on this, and probably I want the colors to be red and gold. So a lot of that was reflected in this, and I'm so happy about that. But originally she had like a different pose. She was like this. Originally she had like how do I do this pose? It was like this. And then I thought, and my editors thought this too, that like the pose looked too passive. So my cover artist like did a few more sketches, and the moment I saw the sketch of this pose, I was like, oh my god, she looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh character. Can we please like use that pose? So yes, I have email proof of me saying exactly that, being like, yes, I want this because she looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
From the get-go, you were already scheming for the Yu-Gi-Oh edit.
Yes, I was. Oh my god. And I ordered after I got my arcs, I custom ordered a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ah, no, my headphones. Hold on. Okay, after I got my arcs, I custom ordered a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Disk stickers just to like.
Can I have one?
Yes. Okay, if we ever meet, I am giving you one. Yeah. Did you have any input on your cover design?
I didn't. They
okay.
Just, and I was like, you know what? That was fair. I would have not have had anything to say.
I know, mine. It's so good. But yeah, like we're with the same imprint on my second book, my MG, and then that was also
your middle grade cover is so cool. Like
I know, yeah, I know. Oh my god! But also that just popped into my inbox like in its entirety, and I was like, y'all went hard.
That was me for my cover as well, because I think I saw a very initial sketch when it was still in its like 3D, because mine is 3D art. Like it's not like made, it's kind of like rendered. So they gave me like very, very initial like grayscale version of it. And I was like, oh, it looks cool. And then they just chucked the whole thing in. And I was like, oh,
okay. Yeah, they never even gave me a sketch. They were just like, here you go. And I was like, no, so like how was this done? Like, is that a stock photo, or did they like do this in like a 3D program?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how 3D art works. I think a lot of it was rendered by a 3D artist. Like they would take stock and then make it into their own thing and like
okay. Oh my god, I love that I can feel the dragon head here.
So cool.
It kills me. I wasn't even on like I was just a nobody on YA Twitter at this point, but I remember seeing your cover reveal and I was like and this was before my deal was announced, so I was just like actually still a Yu-Gi-Oh fan account on Twitter, just being like, oh my god, that cover.
It's a random stan account. Well, I'm glad that my cover somehow got into a Yu-Gi-Oh stan account.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, there's a question that asks, for both of us, is there another period in Chinese history you would really love to write?
Qing Dynasty. And by that I mean the first one, Qing Dynasty. I actually have an adult historical fantasy in the works.
Oh,
yes,
oh,
of like the process of how the first emperor of China like created China, but that probably is on hold till like 2024, just because like I have no time. I have like 2 series on contract, and actually three things on contract, but that third one is a secret. But yeah, definitely that the Qing dynasty fascinates me because it's like Chinese Sparta. It was so intense and
yeah.
totally different from
It's sometimes
yeah.
hard to think about the fact that that was the equivalent of like what the Roman Empire, like the very, very beginnings of it. Like you imagine the whole of Chinese timeline as like, like things were happening, but then it's like, oh wait, they were still doing fortune telling on like rocks, like turtle shell, right? All of that.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Qing dynasty is just like so fascinating to me because it's like it's just so different from what you would expect from a Chinese dynasty. Because like the first emperor of China, he was like, goddamn, he was a figure for sure. He was a person. He did things.
He was a person.
Yeah, yeah. He
Zoom.
was definitely a person. And I probably one day I'm gonna get called out for like using the first emperor too much as a muse because like he's an adaptation of him is in Iron Widow. He stars in Zachary Yin and the Dragon Emperor. And if my adult fantasy like historical fantasy ever gets written, then people are gonna notice. People are gonna be like, why do you keep writing about the goddamn first emperor of China? I just find him fascinating. Okay, he was a hot mess, but he did things.
The first emperor of China has been dead for thousands and thousands of years. People can't ride that hard for him. They need to calm down. You can do whatever you want with him.
I know, right?
No, he's been dead for a long, long time.
Yeah, but you know what? His body is still in that mausoleum, and we can't see it. I want to see it, but I can only. This is why I can only write books to like satiate my thirst for what the hell is in that mausoleum.
Not you being thirsty for his corpse.
No, I'm not thirsty for his corpse. I'm thirsty for like everything else in that mausoleum. Because can you imagine what's in there? Oh, but Wu Zetian's like tomb is also like it's the only Tang Dynasty tomb to not be robbed. So like it's totally intact.
Ooh.
And she reportedly buried like so many treasures in there. So you know what? I am also curious. Like, can we please get the technology to like peer into that already without destroying it?
Get the 3D beaming. I'm sure they're gonna.
Yeah.
We just have to stay alive for long enough to do
I know. Well, I don't even know if I'm gonna be like, is there gonna be a human race in 2024? Like, I don't know. Like, this is the weird thing about like selling books into like 2024. I don't know if like we're gonna exist, but that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, we might get destroyed, but I guess it's like that. But
it'd be like that sometimes.
Like that sometimes. Chinese period history. I don't think I would write anything in the actual dynasties. I feel like I'm very a modern Chinese history person. Like I'm very fascinated by the Republican era.
Yeah.
And, the nature of being a diaspora writer and censorship is that I'm never gonna write past 1949. Like it's just
yeah.
Family. We have all of that. It's just tricky. So I think if I was ever to write something in another period, it would just be like early Republican era, like even before gangster rule, like in 1911 or something. But yeah, I don't think I have the brain cells to do one of the big time periods. It's just
yeah, really, I don't have the brain cells to like comprehend whatever the hell is happening in the Republican era. Like, I actually do not know that era very well, just because, and also like, especially like 1800s China and 1900s China, it just makes me too sad to like read about.
Yes. That's the thing about Republican era. Like a lot of it is just removed enough from like the Opium Wars that I can write about it with anger instead of like having to portray these events that were just sad, right?
Yeah, I know. It's just too sad, especially 1800s China. Like, it's just too sad. I read it, I just get angry, and then no, actually, yeah. Then after the Republican era, you get into World War II, and then it gets sadder. And no. So yes,
Exactly.
you're in a very like, you're in a very interesting era, but for sure, like. I do find that era interesting, but like if I try to comprehend it myself, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So like I leave that to you. I will like read your book so I don't have to I don't have to comprehend that.
I'm so fascinated by like domestic grappling, like politics. I guess it's because I was a relations major. So like, you know, their domestic grappling at this time, the outbreak of civil war, is just something that's like fascinating to me. But because it's still around, it's like you can't press that hard into something that's still like affecting people. So it's like, I'll just stay in my little niche.
Yeah. But no, Republican era, there were like 10 factions just all fighting each other and like trying to
warlords. And that was just in Shanghai. Like if you actually go into another sector, it's just way more complicated.
I know, God. No.
Oh my God. Oh, excellent question. Do you think your characters would get along or be rivals?
It really depends. I think they would definitely unite against the colonizers.
Right.
But if like
if they have a mutual enemy,
yes, yeah,
they would probably get along. They're sensible people. They can have high power.
Yeah. But if like Zetian had her own gang in Shanghai, they would definitely be rivals. But I do think they will get along more than they would be rivals, just because I do think they will have a lot of common enemies. I do. You know what? I'm headcanoning this now. Like Zetian is an operative of the Scarlet Flowers. Like she's a spy for them. She's a courtesan. She's a Shanghai courtesan, because that's what I like headcanon her is in my Republic of China AU. So she's a famous courtesan in Shanghai with like her two like male boy toys. And she has so many connections. And yeah, she's the person that you go for the information.
I mean, I also do feel both Zetian and Juliet are like, they have, you know, girl solidarity. Like,
yeah,
like Zetian was really trying to make friends when she was out there. She was like, power together. And then the other, what was the name of the one who was like, no, yeah. So, you know, she would go and be like, hey, and then Julia would be like, yeah. So I can see it.
You know what, Zetian as a courtesan, as a Scarlet Flower operative, or just like she's loyal to them, I guess. She pays her taxes to them.
Pays her taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. If you could pilot your own chrysalis / mecha, what animal would you want it to resemble?
Coco-chan.
That would be so cute.
Oh yeah, my enemies would just be like, oh.
Yeah, and they get stamped.
Yeah. No, I wish Coco-chan. I constantly wish that Coco-chan was the size of a tiger so I can like ride her. But I don't know how well that would work out, so I don't know. If
maybe
only
like an enlargement beam, it'd be really fun.
I know, right? Come on, why can't you be the size of a tiger?
Oh, this is an interesting question. Would you want to see your books as a show or a manhua?
Definitely manhua. I trust that more than a TV show.
Fascinating. Yeah, no, I really think animation as adaptation is a really underutilized medium.
It is. Like, definitely Iron Widow will be better suited as an anime. But I could definitely see These Violent Delights as like a C-drama, though. I mean, that's basically what it is.
Yeah. It's like These Violent Delights is even less of a C-drama because it puts in a monster, right? Like it's kind of a match between a C-drama and then like a modern Western like gothic, right? Foul Lady Fortune is actually just a C-drama. Like I was like, I'm gonna no one can stop me.
Valid.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. How do you think BookTok / Book Twitter has changed the way that your book is being promoted?
Well, you can speak to that better than me.
Well, I think for me, it's mostly just a different medium, right? Like, I think for you as well, it's Twitter. I noticed that you had a lot of like history threads before your release that I think brought in a lot of your audience who were like, oh, I really like what this person is doing. I'm going to pick up their book. Right? I feel like that's kind of, I mean, I don't know. It feels more of a general, like, a general consequence of word of mouth moving through social media, more so than like, oh, this has to be a tactic now or whatever. But I don't know. How do you feel that your YouTube channels and your like TikTok presence is kind of moved along with your career?
I do enjoy doing all my videos. Like like, because like Chinese history is such a hyperfixation of mine, and if I don't ramble to a camera, it's gonna be to my friends, and then my friends are just like, oh no, not another paragraph about this fucking like 2,000-year-old dead dude. And so yeah, that's what I do on so I just talk about, yeah, that's what I do on my YouTube channel. I just talk about the things that interest me, and then I plug my book at the end of like my really long videos. I have a policy that like if my videos is like 20 minutes or something, then I don't plug my book. But if it's like an hour, then at the end I'm like, if you sat through all of that, you're probably going to be interested in my book. And then so I plug my book. And on TikTok, I just like fool around on TikTok, and somehow yesterday I hit 100,000 followers on that. TikTok is wild.
Love that for you.
How? Because I legit, like, on my release date, I had 11,000 followers, so I got like 90,000 followers on TikTok in a month. TikTok is just wild. What is happening on there? I don't understand it.
It's the Wild West. It's like,
I know it is. It totally is. Like my UK publicist, I think, was like asking me about TikTok, and I was like, I don't know how this works. And then she was like, but your latest TikTok has 1 million views, and I was like, that doesn't mean I know how any of this works.
I think that's the good thing. I think that's what makes like certain TikToks successful, because TikTok is so organic, right? Like it's
so chaotic. It's just like pure and distilled Gen Z chaos.
Exactly. And they don't want ads. The more refined it is, the more they don't like that, and it flops. So I think like literally just launching content at them does well.
Yeah. Apparently, well, I do notice that like even if you have a person with millions of followers, if they do an ad, that flops. It gets like a fraction of their usual views. So like people don't want ads on there. They just want to see people being chaotic.
They want chaos. They want complete whack content, and that's
I know. And sometimes just the most random stuff I put on TikTok, it goes viral for no reason. Like there's a short, like the TikTok, it now has like 2 million views or something. It's just me saying, haha, I didn't put any white people in my book because I didn't want to pander. And for some reason that just blew up. And then every day I have like more discourse in my TikTok inbox. That's like, oh my God, like it's a mess. And I'm just like, oh my God.
The fun thing about TikTok discourse is that you're allowed to delete comments. So yeah. Did you not know?
God. I didn't know. I don't know. I don't want a TikTok.
Because on Twitter, okay, I probably can't answer another question because of this, but you know how on Twitter discourse, you just have to let people discourse, right? TikTok, people come in and discourse with you, and they get like their knickers in a fit, and they're like, oh, you need to listen to me. You can just hold it and delete it.
Really? Oh my God, I didn't know. Oh my God, I should probably delete that like 200 comment thread about like colonization versus like whitewashing. I don't.
People are tired. But okay, we have come to 4:30, which we started. No, not 4:30. We started. Yeah, it is 4:30 here. We started an hour ago, right? I'm not getting my time wrong. Yes, I believe so. Okay.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to rapid fire answer some of these questions. How do people from China react to my novels? I have no idea. They probably don't like it, judging from the reactions of my. Well, it's not that my parents' boomer friends didn't like it. It's that they were like, "Oh, this is why did you do this?"
They don't get it.
Okay, yeah. So, what was the one thing you wanted to keep in the book that your publisher told you to take out? Probably just like domestic fluff scenes. Yeah, it was that. It might be completely irrelevant, but why did you pick foot binding as a part of Iron Widow's lore? It's because foot binding has always been like a nightmare for me, because like it happened like not that long ago, right? Because like even in like the world of These Violent Delights, if Juliet was born somewhere else, she would have had bound feet.
Yeah.
Like, if she was born in the rural area, and there's still a woman alive with bound feet. So like when I was growing up and I learned about this, it's always been a nightmare in my mind. That's like, oh, this could have happened to me if I was born in the wrong time. And like, just I've always been like, why did this happen? Why do you want to control women so badly that you did this to their feet? And I felt like if you're going to discourse about misogyny and just like female oppression in a Chinese inspired world, then foot binding is the go-to to like exemplify like extreme like patriarchal oppression. So that's why. And then let's see, if you had to live with one character from either of your books, who would you choose? I would definitely choose Shiming so he could change my light bulb. And since he comes back into the story rather late, will there be more development regarding Iju's character in book 2? Oh, honey, you know, in book 2, he's gonna be out there playing 3D chess, manipulating everybody.
Love to see the book 2 hints.
Yes, and will there be a different cover for the paperback edition? Probably not, because my publisher paid a lot for my cover. And Chloe, I don't know when you're ever going to get a US paperback. Probably never. You're just going to stay on the list for like.
The hardcover's still selling, guys.
I know. Yeah, you're going to be on there for like 200 weeks. And did you find it easier or harder to switch between writing Iron Widow and Zachary Yin? Definitely Zachary Yin is way more fun to write. It's like truly me and like all the kiddish like anime shonen stuff that I like. And yeah, it has a very different writing style, so look out for that. And will you release the deleted scenes? Maybe. And I think we've pretty much talked about everything else. So I think we have to stop here.
Let's wrap up now. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. Pick up your copy if you haven't already. Look at the shine. I love that the UK version put me here.
I know, right?
I'm not here for the US version, but the UK version has me. So
no, I know, right? That's why this is the edition that I use on all my TikToks, because you did such a nice blurb for me, and I was like, yes, hell yes.
Love that for me. But yes, read Iron Widow. Pick up these Mom Delights.
And our violent ends soon. Which will violently end us.
And thank you all for joining us. We hope you had a great time. We hope you liked our clowning. And
yes, it was just 1 hour straight of clowning and going off topic, but that is fine.
Clowning and memes. But yeah, goodbye all.
Yeah, bye. I have another interview to go to. Bye-bye.